Are you experiencing back pain that you can't get rid of? Getting migraines, vertigo, having trouble sleeping, and/or brain fog? Do you feel like your medical doctor doesn't understand your condition? Blair Chiropractic might be the solution you've been looking for. If you've ever been skeptical about this, the two doctors you're about to listen to were even more skeptical than you were when they looked into chiropractic work. But fear not. Get expert guidance from the blonde and the bald, Doctors Beth Bagley and Frederick Schurger. These two doctors have extensive experience beyond the healthcare realm and bringing unique vision and healing to their patients. What do you have when you get a biological analyst and an engineer together? Find out right here on another episode of The Blonde and the Bald. Welcome your hosts, Doctors Bagley and Schurger.
Welcome to the Blonde and the Bald podcast, folks. I'm Dr. Frederick Schurger.
I'm Dr. Beth Bagley. How are you doing, Dr. Schurger?
I am doing excellent. Folks, we were talking before this. I know we don't always just go right into it and just jibber jabber at you. No, we sort of try to plan. And then we decided we were wasting time talking about really good stuff anyway. So just we're right into it. But we are just finishing now. This episode's coming out right after Christmas, right before New Year's. But we just got done with Thanksgiving, and Dr. Bagley, I ate everything that I could. I ate all the snacks. Remember how we talked about this a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
We said don't overdo it. I overdid it. I enjoyed myself. I had all the turkey and all the brisket, then some more brisket and more brisket because we didn't use it for dinner. So I got to eat most of it myself. But I also ate some of the desserts that I don't get to enjoy. Yeah. And guess what? Come Monday morning, I'm still down almost 3 pounds from where I weighed in Thursday night. So yay. How are you doing on things?
I did really good. So I've been doing the keto diet for a good month and a half, and I've done this before and I fell off the bandwagon many times, but I've been really good. But I did decide, hey, Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving. I'm going to eat Thanksgiving. But I still, you know what? I didn't go crazy. I ate the things that, sorry, I'm at home today. So there's noises in the back. I apologize to people who can hear that. But there's no, I didn't go crazy, which I think I would have in the past. But I did. And what I did was it was just that meal. Yeah. I didn't let it go past the next day or the day before. I didn't say, oh, I've already screwed up, so I'm going to just keep screwing up. I really had my thought process of that's just that one moment. And honestly, I took like a little tiny piece of pie because that's all I don't really like pie that much anyway. So I tried that. And then I did. So we talked a couple of weeks ago how we were going to fry a turkey and how you guys always fry a turkey too. Well, we did that. So I did do some, I had to make sure that the oil worked. Yes. So we did some French fries and that was really, really good.
It is fantastic. Now I've been, I am hemming and hawing about doing a full turkey in beef tallow.
That'd be awesome.
It would be. And it's just a matter of getting enough tallow to do that. Dad insisted upon peanut oil. So I'm like, fine, I'm not going to argue with Dad. Next year, I might just say, I've got all the beef tallow. We're good.
But peanut oil is expensive. We spent like almost $80 on peanut oil.
This is the problem. Everything is up in price. And anyone who says that it's not is...
The White House says it's not. The White House says this is the lowest Thanksgiving like ever in the history of every Thanksgiving ever.
I'm having a hard time with that. I know how much I spent on turkeys alone. And that's...
Yeah, it was expensive.
It is. But folks, this is the thing. Eating healthy is a little bit pricier than eating junk food. But what are they now saying? A McDonald's in California to get a Big Mac meal, it's like $18 or
$16 or $18. Yeah,
ridiculous.
And you can definitely make a healthy meal for less than $16 if you're buying the ingredients yourself. And you can spend your money maybe a little bit less buying trash junk food, or you could spend your money later buying that, and you're going to spend it on cancer treatments or diabetes medications or whatever.
You are going to
happens. You're going to spend it one way or another.
We're going to spend the money towards our health in one side at one point in time or the other. And, basically what they say is we bookend our expenses for our health at the beginning and at the end of our lives. So the first 10 years when we're just born, our folks are paying a bunch of money to make sure we're still healthy, and that way we survive. And then the last 10 years are really expensive because you're barely moving or potentially. I had one patient in today, and she's, or not today, but earlier this week, and she is wheelchair bound. She can sort of get up. She has very poor balance anymore. Got worse during COVID because she wasn't getting checked. And she made the comment, "Doc, every time somebody touches my calves, they hurt." And I told her, it's because you don't get up and move. You are not walking. There is a pumping cycle of all of our lymph flow. And if that stuff builds up, it's toxic. It burns. And the only way to get that working and moving again is to get up and walk.
Yeah.
And it's, she is certainly in that situation where she's having a hard time with it. Whereas I've got, a couple of my nuns who are coming back in. They are the one, man, 3 weeks ago when she first came back, it was like, all right, this is a 15-minute visit. It's going to take forever. Now, it was 5 minutes to get her to the table, get her adjusted, and then get her resting, which is about the normal pacing for a patient. There's Sammy.
Sammy can say hi.
Hi, Sammy. At least she didn't bark at me.
If you walked in the door, she would.
Yes. Yes, she would. She's
She
like,
always
"Why
barks at
haven't
you."
you petted me yet?" And it's like, I just walked in. But no, we're going to spend that money one way or the other. And yes, food and peanut oil and all these things are expensive. But what is a quality product? Because there's a bunch of junk products out there that in the end are not worth nothing.
No, and it in the class that I teach on Wednesday nights at my office called Half Hour to Health, we talk about the difference between healthcare and sick care.
Yep.
And sick care is what most people think of as healthcare, and sick care is, cancer treatment or a joint replacement or like drilling on your teeth because you've a cavity, right?
Yeah.
So healthcare,
that's all, and that's what health insurance covers.
Health insurance is sick insurance. So we need to call it sick insurance. It's not health insurance. It's sick insurance. And I'm glad it covers that stuff because, if my leg falls off, I want it to get sewn back on properly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But the health care is what we are trying to focus on. What this podcast is about is actual healthcare. Why we talk about food, why we talk about the amount of water you need to drink, why we talk about moving our bodies, why we talk about chiropractic care. So I want everyone to listen to start when they hear healthcare, deciphering your brain is like, is that healthcare or sick care? Because typically it's going to be sick care.
I believe, and I'm looking it up right now, but I believe it was Voltaire that said something like, the purpose of the doctor is to distract the patient while the body heals itself. And that's, the real reality is that we only heal from within. There is not an external, like we've got all these wonderful, supplements that I've got here that I do recommend because you need some of it. But you have, your body has capacity to make most of this stuff. You sometimes just need a little bit of extra from time to time to help you along the way. I was chatting with another patient that was in today. She's been, her and her husband and son are all doing animal-based right now. And she feels great. And she's like eating butter like it's going out of style. And I told her, and she's like, "I'm not gaining any weight." I'm like, "Yes, because you're getting all of that vitamin, all that vitamin A, all that other, all the vitamins that are in butter, real butter, that are replenishing her system."
Yeah.
But I told her to watch out because at a certain point in time, as she continues to, consume the butter, the scale is going to finally start creeping up, because that will have been the limit of the nutrition she needed from the butter. And then it just becomes, storage.
Excess calories.
You
You still can eat. A lot of people don't realize, like, if you're doing low carb, keto, carnivore, you can still overeat. You can still gain weight. You could absolutely gain weight.
And for my, for my 4 days with, over at my dad's place, we've got, I didn't walk the whole 40 acres. But I probably walked around about 20 acres, a day, various little spots. And as the joke, as I was joking earlier this week, Dad drives the tractor from spot to spot to spot from where we need to do chainsawing, and he doesn't let anybody ride because that would be dangerous. And that makes me a little sad, because I could safely hop on the back of the weighted toolbox and not have a problem with it. But that means I have to walk. So I was anywhere from 15 to 20,000 steps a day. And then what was I doing? I was eating all of the, I ate probably a couple pounds of beef every day, a little bit of extra turkey. When I'm like, oh, we got turkey, nibble, nibble, nibble. And then I was, while you only ate the sweets on the one day, I was eating, pieces of baklava for the next couple of days, actually trying to split a little bit so that way I didn't eat the whole thing, because I know I could. My old adage was 2 pieces of baklava. So now I was at a half piece. So, that was better, but I didn't have the gluten issues that I normally do, probably because I've cleaned up my gut significantly. And at the end, I knew I was going to come back lighter, just simply because of how I was feeling on the drive back, that I wasn't concerned about the calories I was consuming, because I just spent 4 days walking everywhere, out in the cold, sometimes sitting in a tree, but not for very long. Just all of my body was in a calorie burning mode. And then I've been eating 2 pounds of chuck roast all week, and it's still in a calorie burning mode. So, it's a matter of setting up that furnace, as it were, to burn the calories that you are consuming in a meaningful manner, opposed to just eating willy-nilly and just adding on the calories and gaining that weight. So
and you really, you are pretty close, if not at your ideal body weight right now, unless like you wanted to add muscle, correct?
I would like to drop it. I think I'd be better at 180.
And what are you at?
190.
Okay, so you have like 10 pounds that you think you need to lose. So and that's a different perspective for someone like me, who I do need to drop some weight. And so when, like, being on the keto diet, what they say is you stop being so hungry. And the truth is is because now my body's consuming itself, because I've got lots of storage that I put on over the years.
We all do. And people are like, well, oh, if all I do is get into fat burning mode and I get down to 5% body fat, I could starve to death. It's like, no, you won't, because the amount of energy you have at 4 to 5% body fat for men. For women, you're really messed up at that point. That's going to screw up your hormones. But for men, that's still like a 3-month supply of energy before you're going to have real problems. So we have more energy than we need if we're carrying around an extra, anything, a little bit of extra belly fat, a little bit of extra weight on the hips and thighs. It's never on the muscles. It's never on the gun show. It's definitely, sometimes it's in your face. That it does live there. But I know this little arm, and anyways.
Well, so that kind of brings up the point of New Year's resolutions, because they're like
dumb.
I agree, because like I could wait, like I should wait right now for I'll just eat whatever I want, because people are starting to bring stuff into the office now. There's cakes and there's cookies and all that stuff, and I appreciate that so much. I do give that away, at least currently I am. And in the years past, I may have eaten it. I'm not doing that this year, but I've started my New Year's resolution when I decided that it was time, and I was done feeling like crap all the time.
And it doesn't need to be at a New Year's time.
That's what waiting till New Year's is silly.
Exactly. We've got an older episode that didn't come out until much later talking about New Year's resolutions, but it is the wrong time to say on January 1st,
Second.
I'm going to make these second, third, and then at certain point, why do all the healthcare facilities, all the gyms do great for like the next couple of months? It's because everyone says, oh, I'm going to make a change, and they sign everybody up at a premium, and you pay for maybe 2 months worth before you cancel it. That actually helps keep them in business. There's a whole that strategy there, and I don't blame them. I think it's great because periodically I would like to go to a gym that's got a nice sauna, but the problem is you get in there and everybody's doing it, and you're just like, oh, I don't even want to start. In fact, the regulars are like,
they hate it. They went in February. They can't wait till February because everyone quits.
Yeah. And they know it. And you're better off learning how to be a regular and put up with this crazy push at New Year's, opposed to trying to start at New Year's, trying to find the thing at the gym that's going to make you happy. You're not going to find it. You've got to find the thing that you're going to do if there's a physical activity. And I had 3 or 4 people ask me, like just this past week, Doc, what should I do exercise wise? And I'm just like, what do you like to do? What will you do repeatedly? I had one guy, I suggested pickleball to a couple of folks, and they're like, yeah, we don't have pickleball down there. Well, you might have to start it. And then I joked with somebody else who had played pickleball. He says, yeah, I just kept on throwing my shoulder out. I quit. And I'm like, all right, that's fair. But yeah, you find that whatever physical activity that you're going to do on the regular, I'm sort of weird that I like a cannonball with a handle. But that works for me. You and I have talked a lot about, just getting a kettlebell for yourself at home. But you get into that little gym of yours that you've been working with the trainer, and you just love it. So
it works for me. And I do if anyone's been on my Instagram, me and the girls, my 2 twin girls that are 14, we work out together, all 3 of us, and we have a trainer, because if I said that they were doing something wrong or a form problem, I am in trouble because I am not right. So what I have done is I have Natalie, who we should get her on sometime. She's so interesting. She's trained as an occupational therapist and then has now become this amazing trainer. So yeah, we should get her on sometime, but she really helps us. And it's not just for her. It's not just about training. It's about breathing. It's about, the form and all those things, but even social emotional things that are happening. I've never had a trainer quite think the way she does. And it's really been eye-opening. I really enjoy her.
Yeah. But again, it's finding that person who sort of looks at things in a way that you can identify with. I had another patient in this morning, and she's like, oh, I've got these little light weights. I don't want to lift weights. I'm like, at your age, you should be focusing as we get older. Anything past 35, folks, if you are over 35 and not training with weights, you are going
lift
to
heavy things.
You need to lift heavy things. You don't need to be crazy like I am with a goal of 32 kilograms in both arms overhead. That's my goal. That's strong enough. But you do need to be doing something physical to maintain. Build muscle mass if you can, but certainly maintain your muscle mass as you get older. I was watching one, and again, these, what are the questions of the things that you can do today? If you want to make a New Year's resolution, ask those questions. What can you do today? What are you willing to do today
right now
to make a change to, like, right now? And
right now, like, you're listening to this and it's December 26th.
8th. But yes,
whatever. It's December 28th. It's not January 2nd. What could you do right now? What would you?
Yeah. How about this? As a real simple solution, you can say, I can eat more protein because, again, as we get older, We do not process protein as efficiently as someone younger, but yet I see so many people where a couple in their 60s or 70s will go in and they'll split a fish sandwich between them for their dinner. And I'm just like, no, you both need to get 2 of those and eat all of the fish and throw away the bun.
Yeah.
It is exactly the opposite, because you don't, again, sort of like keto, you don't feel like you need to eat, except you need to eat.
Yeah. And if you're not getting enough protein, your
Yeah.
body's going to find the protein, and that's in your muscles.
Yeah. And it will waste away. Now, one of the videos I watched recently, he's silly. If you like 3rd grade humor for boy humor, he's hilarious. But he was talking about a study, right? The guy's name is Ryan Humestat on YouTube.
Mhm.
And he was talking about how even at a deficit, you need to, if you're trying to lose weight, you still need more protein. And we're looking at 1 gram per pound of body weight is effectively what it is. Sometimes more, sometimes like 1.2. So that could easily, if you are 180 pounds, that could easily be 180 grams to 220 grams of protein.
So one of the things that my trainer said, and she does lots of research on this, is a gram of protein per ideal body weight.
Well, see, this is where we go back and forth on this. And honestly, I don't disagree with that thought, but my thinking is we have to make it easy. And for people who are listening, it's like, well, my ideal body weight would be 180 pounds. So then therefore I only want to be 180. But actually, if you're overweight, pushing more protein will help you burn that body fat, because what you want to do is you want to increase your body's ability. Now, are you going to sit down tomorrow at lunch, Dr. Bagley, and eat 2 pounds of chuck roast?
No, I can't. I literally can't.
Right. I did today. I've done that every day.
I believe you can.
Right.
I cannot.
Right. No, but it took me time to work myself up to being able to consume that. And, again, this is my body, slowly building up the ability to have that much protein in a sitting, and to even be able to want to eat that much. That's a lot of meat. I'm not going to pretend it's not. But I'm sort of pushing after this past week, where I'm having all this extra protein to keep the momentum that I built up over the past the week before. So it is more a matter of how can you work yourself up to that? And what is about 200 grams of protein? You're talking about 2 pounds of red meat. So figure out what the numbers are. Again, we've talked about chronometer and other things, but that might be a simple strategy that you say, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to eat, or I'm just going to download an app and I'm going to start tracking my food consumption. I'm going to buy a scale to see what I'm doing. I'm going to finally call up that crazy bald chiropractor, because the blonde one is too far away, and say, hey, I need to make an appointment to check to make sure my head's on straight so that I can do all the things that I want to do. And it's just, it's a timing thing. You have to just make that intention and start doing the steps. Can you do all of them in a day? No. Can you do all of them in a month? Probably not. Some of the stuff that we've been working on, like you said, you've been working on a month and a half. Do you know what your scale change has been?
About 15 pounds.
See, that's fantastic. How do we want to know how? Do you want to share how much further you got to go?
Good bit, about 55 pounds more.
Yeah. So it's you've started. The question is it's an exponential curve. It's like, when does it just sort of taper off? And come on, exponential, you can go better. We can get to that ideal weight faster. So this is why people that seems that ideal body weight is an interesting number. I think it gets us in trouble, because I can look at what the scale is and I can make the math faster there than trying to figure out what that ideal is.
Yeah. It's just like, if somebody's listening and they're, 350 pounds though,
Yeah, that's a
trying to
different
get
story.
that person to eat 350 grams of protein. That's where we get into the
I would
yeah,
like to see them get to that, try that though, because if they
it-
could, if they can do that for, work themselves up to that, by the time they meet that spot, they will have dropped 100 pounds.
and and that is true. That is true. And if you focus on protein on your plate and eat that, and then even if you have a carb on your plate, you're not going to be able to eat it as much because your stomach's going to be so filled with the protein. So eating the protein first on a meal might be a way to get to that. Like if you have a steak and French fries on your plate, which I don't really recommend, but if you had that on your plate, eat your whole steak first, and then whatever 3 fries you can fit in your mouth. Great.
Exactly. And it's funny because we talk about, eating all these carbs and or all these protein levels. There's a couple of they're the big power lifters. Brian Shaw, I think he like stands 6'7" or something like that. Standing next to his wife, she just looks like this, itty bitty tiny thing. And I think she's like 5'7". But he is just this massive beast of a man. And he's done these several, like they'll buy a bunch of burgers and fries, and they'll try to eat all of it. He just makes it into a show, and they're playing around. But even they can't, put down like some of these stupid levels of meat. They end up getting, the last one I watched, they end up getting paddled for not eating enough meat. All I know is I want to go to this place and at least have one of their burgers. The burgers look good. But
so what's one thing that a listener could do instead of calling it a New Year's resolution? I'm going to call it a habit change.
Yes.
Let's talk about options for habit changes that they could start now, doing one thing at a time. Like,
so I'd say, start looking at what are the things that are not healthy for you. Let's say you like your Diet Coke, switch to water.
Big one.
That's going to be a huge big one. That's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. But it can be it sounds like they're empty calories that they don't add, but they do. And they are adding body weight that you don't understand. And there's other gut microbiome issues. But if you just switch to water, that's a change.
And I wouldn't even, if you're really trying to cut the cord on diet soda or soda in general, I wouldn't start being like, well, I'll just do sweet tea for a little bit, or I'll just go cold turkey 3 weeks. Water. All you drink is water. Drink water. And if you want to drink coffee or unsweetened tea, that's fine. But drink the water. That would be an incredible new habit for the new year. Absolutely. Rather than a New Year's resolution.
Another great little habit, and it gets into the fasting side of things. Eat your last meal on Sunday night, and do not eat. You can have coffee. You could have like a tea or something else in, not these soda pops or beverages or whatnot. But don't have another meal until dinner the following night. I would add a
24-hour fast.
Yeah. And it's actually, it helps you realize, I can actually make it a day.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have had extra calories on the weekend, and it's easier to make it to, Monday dinner, because most Mondays are crazy busy anyways for people.
That's a good point.
I would say just simply downloading an app that starts saying, hey, how much food am I eating? And say, what is 200 grams of protein, or what is 100
So the habit would be tracking either macros or in general protein grams or something like that.
Right. And I'm going to tell people that, you can, there are so many macro calculators out there. You can go to all of these places. You just type in macro calculator and say how much you want to weigh, how much you weigh, how much you want to lose, how fast you want to move it. They can do all of this stuff to, whether you want to do a keto version of it, whether you want to do a traditional version of it. Too much work. Just try to boost up your protein to your own body weight right now. And again, if you are 350, 400 pounds, you're not going to hit that goal immediately, but how close can you get to that goal on a regular basis that you start seeing the changes happen? Again, prioritize protein. The more you do that, the better off you're going to be.
I think
else?
another one is a lot of people are dehydrated. So drinking a good amount of water.
Yep.
That's, typically they say half your body weight in ounces or something like that. But in general, if you drink 3 glasses of water a day and that's all you drink, maybe drink 5 or double it or something like that to get to the point where you're making a habit change. And the habit change could be that, I bring my water bottle everywhere with me now.
Exactly.
So that fixate on the habit, not so much like, that's going to make me lose weight, or that's going to
the systems over the goals are always going to serve you better. This is why you did the hard 75 a couple years ago. And I liked those habits because, you read for what, half an hour?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was a page count.
It wasn't, I'd have to look it up, but it's 20 minutes. I think it's 20 minutes of reading. I set a timer.
Yeah. So, set a timer, do the reading, put your phone down and just do, look at a book. For 20,
and this was
minutes.
a self-improvement or business or something book. Right. It's a nonfiction book. That's what they wanted you to read.
And then the other one that the Hard 75 came out with was going for, doing something physical twice a day, but one of them had to be outside. And Tuesday, even Wednesday morning, it was bitter cold around here. But today and yesterday afternoon, I walked out, bundled up in jacket and hat, and I realized I didn't need this. I've got it with me just in case it gets cool tonight because it's getting late. But just getting out there and going for a walk. My goal, I set a goal a while ago that I wanted to get to 9,000 steps a day. For my tracker. I can almost guarantee that even although I was bouncing around today, I will not. I'm looking right now. If I'm over 7,000, I'll be surprised. No, 5,300. And I was up and I was on my feet most of the day outside of lunch, and I'm not going to get another 4,000 steps. I'll hit 7,800, about 7,000. But I set a goal for 9,000 because that's where I want to be. Last week, 15 to 20, but I walked a lot.
So that, again, if you set your New Year's resolution as your goal, like my goal is to lose 55 pounds.
Sure.
That's my resolution. No, that's not, none of that. It's the habit. Like my habit change is this, and this supports my goal. And
because what happens when you lose the 55 pounds?
Then I'm done. I'm good. I'll just start eating McDonald's. It's
exactly. Great. And that's the problem is the rebound. You'll gain 65 back. Yep. You want to release, you want to create habits that will return your body back to your ideal body weight that you have decided is another 40 pounds heavier than you are right now. Or 140 pounds down.
For the first time, I would say ever, I'm looking at this habit change of how I'm eating as a habit change. I was out to dinner with my future new associate, Dr. Ladd, who has accepted the position. Yay.
Good.
And her future husband and my husband, and we were out to a nice dinner, and I had steak and scallops. It was delicious.
Nice.
And I had vegetables with that. I didn't have the potato or anything. And we were talking about diets because we all do some form of, some sort of like something to be healthy. And Dr. Ladd's fiance asked, like, well, how long are you going to do keto for? And I said, forever.
Yeah.
And I meant it. I was like, I might have a day, right? Like a Thanksgiving or a Christmas or a birthday where I have a dessert, but that's it.
Yeah.
It's a day or a meal. I'm no longer, I just don't, I'm not going to eat like that anymore. It's not the way I want to live.
It doesn't, it's not good. And, and people are like, well, shoot, do I have to do keto? No, you can go back and listen to our episode, which I'm looking back through our episode list right now.
Yeah, there was one
that we did all of the different, ways, keto is one of the better ways to lose weight and to, sort of, it's a dietary choice. It's a way of eating that is helpful to change body structure, to be healthier. But, I like, I was chatting with another patient this week who looked over at my bookshelf, and I've got the 4-Hour Body there, which is where the slow carb diet comes from. And sure enough, it's there. So folks, if you're hearing this for the first time and you haven't gone back to our older episodes, it might be a good time to go back and refresh your brain. That one is good on YouTube. In fact, because there are some visuals.
What's the episode called, just so they can look it up?
What I'm looking for.
I don't know either. I don't remember.
I mean, it could be Eat Healthier this new year.
I'm gonna look on Spotify.
Yeah. I know we could have planned this better, but we are.
We just talk. We just start talking, and then
exactly,
and we go off on tangents, which is so fun. Hopefully, it's somewhat fun for some.
I was going to say. I was going to say. I hope some people do enjoy the tangents that we go off on, but maybe it was Healthy Routines for Healthy Living, episode 24. That one seems that would be
that's
about
probably
right.
it. Yeah.
So again, it's just, you've got to set up the habits. What habits do you want to do? Do you want to change how you eat? Do you change all the habits at once? No. You say, all right, I'm going to do this one this week and implement it and just make it happen. One of the habits that I've been trying to get to, I don't know if I'll get to it tonight even, is that I want to play my bass and practice and work my way through this 100 slap bass riff book that I picked up probably earlier this spring that I haven't gotten to. And I figure, if I work on one or two of those a week, I'll work my way through that book, and I'll be able to slap the bass like a funk master. So, that's
very much a funk master. I love that for you.
Yeah. So that's just what I'm looking for. But again, I have to sit down and do it, take 30 minutes. At the end of tonight, after we finish here, I'm going to, I've got to reset some stuff, got to clean up the office, head home, work on my wife because she needs to get adjusted tonight, and then eat dinner. And then by that point in time, it's going to be 9:00, and I'm not going to have anything left in the tank. And that is unfortunately part of me trying to figure out my schedule so that I can make those changes. And, maybe Thursday nights, I'm not going to touch the bass. But maybe Monday and Wednesday, and the weekend, I'm going to have plenty of time to do it. So, again, it's making those decisions, getting out, going for a walk every day, and maybe it's only 15 minutes. Maybe after
it's just starting a walk, start a walk every day.
In fact, after you finish your morning, let's do lunch. Let's say we're using lunch. Finish lunch. Go for a 5-minute walk and turn around and come back. It can be that simple.
It can be. And that's, again, not a New Year's resolution. It is a new habit change for in the new year. And again, start whenever you're listening to this. I don't care if it's February or if it's still December or it's, 2026. Don't wait to change a habit. Change one habit, just one thing today, and then do it again tomorrow. And once that becomes a habit, once you're a few days or weeks into it and you feel like I can continue that, that's when you do the next step. Don't try to do it all at once, because if you do it all at once, that will most certainly be a failure.
Your brain will explode in the worst possible way.
I've had that happen multiple times.
Yeah. So in any case, well, speaking of time and wrapping things up, and I think we're about one of these days Zoom will add a timer to these so we know how long we've been recording.
I know, but I think it's I think we did it. I think people get what we're saying, and if you don't, I'll just come to my office and I'll slap you and tell you how to just do your habit. Just do it. Folks, I won't. I don't slap anyone in the office.
She won't, except me.
I had my win for the day is I've been taking care of this mom who has been with me as a patient before she was pregnant and got pregnant. And this is her third baby. And she had the baby about a month ago, a little under a month ago. And he came in for his first adjustment today.
Oh, very nice.
If anybody wants to see that, it's on Facebook and Instagram pictures. And that would have been on 11/30 if you're looking back on the timeline.
Very nice.
And he did really well. And she got adjusted too. And mama and baby are super healthy and happy.
Nice. I'm just getting referrals from other docs, other upper cervical docs this week. I think I had a bunch of spontaneous new patients walk into my office, taking new pictures. So we're slowly getting them and their families all set up. So
nice.
I'm excited. It was a very good week back from Thanksgiving.
But busy, which it was busy this week.
It really was surprisingly so. Because oftentimes this is when things slow down, which I wouldn't mind, so I can do some planning, but that's not going to happen.
No,
and I'm okay with that too.
I don't want it to slow down, but no. I'll just be more effective with my time.
Definitely. Speaking of which, let's wrap up. Dr. Bagley, where are they going to find you?
I'm in St. Louis, Missouri on the west side. I'm at precisionchirostl.com.
And I'm in Springfield, Illinois, also on the west side, as
nice.
Oddly as that is, at Keystone Chiropractic, KeystoneChiroSBI.com, and all the socials.
Yes.
Keystone Doc on Instagram. And folks, you do have a happy new year. We want you to have a happy new year. We want you to be safe coming back. If you're going out to enjoy yourself, enjoy your New Year's parties if you're going to do that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But at the end of it, realize you're changing habits and figure out which one habit you're going to change right now and keep to it through the new year. And then maybe in a couple of weeks, pick another one and just change that one. So
I love it.
All right, folks, you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you for another episode in a week.
That's all for today's episode of The Blonde and the Bald. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you enjoyed today's show with Drs. Bagley and Schurger, remember, don't give up and just live with the pain. Come back next week and get more answers and solutions. Visit our websites at KeystoneChiroSPI.com and PrecisionChiropracticSTL.com for more info, and catch all the episodes of The Blonde and the Bald.